Hello, hello. Am I audible? Can you confirm if I'm audible, Rishabh? Hello, hello. Let's wait for one more minute, then we'll continue. Let me check if I'm live on YouTube. Okay, share my screen, then we'll continue the session. I hope my screen is visible to you. If anyone can confirm. Okay, so I guess we are good to go. Perfect. So hi, good evening to all. Good evening, Rishabh. Good evening, Apurv. Good evening. So agenda for today's this boot camp or workshop is pretty much simple, that we are going to discuss the future of stack, right? The student that or the candidates or working professional who are looking for switch, the student who are looking for internship, on campus placement, off campus placements, we are going to see that either you should go with stack or not, and if yes, then how you should pursue this career, right? So I welcome you all. People are joining still, but we'll continue meanwhile people will be joining. Okay. So my name is Vikas Thakur, and here at Geeks for Geeks, I'm a software engineer and trainer in Munstack, and I'm having a total 4 year of experience in Munstack training. And talking about training, I also cater offline, online, college, and corporate training, right? And talking about my audience or my experience in teaching, I have almost 10, more than 11,000 people, including few of the working professionals. And just to little bit of, you can kind of soft flex, my some of the students working in sales forces, right? Tata 1 MGs and many other prestigious organizations. So, and all of them is working on the web, right? Obviously, SDA web. So actually the agenda is pretty much clear, that we are going to see that future of how the future of Monstack looking like, right? So talking about future, first of all, you need to understand one fact, or let me be clear about this fact, that do not take this Monstack as a, you can kind of opportunity to bring out money. Yes, it is. It's an opportunity to bring out the money, but when you respect this tech stack, you try to understand this tech stack bit by bit. And when I talk about bit by bit, that means surely you are talking about JavaScript, right? So we'll start with a little bit of, I have prepared you some content. I'll use my pen tab as well. So let's start with the pen tab. So I don't go with the presentation. I'll show you the presentation as well. Let me just start with the presentation directly. Okay. So that will relate, you will be able to relate to this particular session, and I wanted to keep it raw. So what I feel about this Monstack as a tech stack of web is pretty much simple and straightforward. For example, you are the guy who is looking for an internship opportunity, and many of you are currently, if you are a student or working professional looking for switch or internship or any full-time job opportunity. First you need to understand that where is the market standing in Munstack. Obviously the first pointer is market research. Without market research you cannot do anything, whether it's a Munstack or whether it's a dukan, yeah, whatever it is. You have to, if you are launching a product, if you are making yourself a company, you need to do market research, right? मार्केट में चल क्या रहा है, मार्केट में अभी प्रोडक्ट कौन सा बिक रहा है, उसका डिमांड कितना है, डिमांड सप्लाई कैसे मैनेज करोगे, क्या प्राइस रखना है, किस टाइप की ऑडियंस को कैटर कर रहे हो. दिस टाइप ऑफ रिसर्च पॉइंटर्स यू नीड टू टेक केयर before jumping on to any conclusion about tech stack. That particular formula is also applicable onto this month stack. If I'm going to pick a tech stack for web development or internship or for my career, because this particular tech stack is going to define your career, how your 5 year, 6 year, 2 year theory is going to be looking like. If you are selecting this month stack as a tech stack for your journey, so let me just tell you one simple fact. Around 42%, yes, around 42% increment has been seen in the job opportunity that is coming in Munstack from the recent year. And why so? And that's a real number. I'm not making it up. Why so? Because of the startup culture. Because of startup culture. And what is a startup? You know, the guys who are launching the product from the scratch up, right? Many of the CEO, many of the even student coming from IITs, coming from tier 3 college as well. I'm not talking about especially from IITs, but tier 3 college also launching their own services, launching their own applications, launching their own product. So what they require? They require a guy, they require a tech stack that can help them build their application from the scratch up, right? They have an idea, they just have कि okay, okay, this ये है, मुझे करना है, ऐसे ऐसे मुझे करना है. But what they need actually, they need a guy, they need a tech stack that can help them build their application from the scratch up. And talking about the scratch up means बिल्कुल scratch से. They don't know anything, because few of the CEOs that I have met, obviously founder, not CEOs, a few of the founders of the startup, a few of my friend are also startup founders. So they are purely kind of non-tech. They are not having any relevancy to the MERN stack or mean stack or Next.js and whatever it is. They are looking for a guy, they are looking for a framework or tech stack that can help them streamline their process, so their application, their MVP can be launched, or they can raise the funding on the behalf of it. And due to this number, this 42% increment has been seen in the recent year in the Munstack department, whether it's internship opportunities or full-time roles. Now talking about one more fact or one more reality check towards the development arena, because I am also contributing to the development of the dev societies. So around 62% of the revamp systems. And what about talking about revamp system means 62 of the system that has been previously written on some other language, and now they are migrating their softwares in newer type of language. They are preferring Munstack or any framework of JS, right? Especially goes for Munstack. Many of the startup, current new age startup is built on React.js. And talking about not early age startup, have you heard about Meta, Dropbox, Uber, Netflix, right? These kind of big tech giant is also preferring some part of React to solve their problem. Obviously, the React has been launched or produced by the Meta, previously known as Facebook. So they are the tech giant. They are preferring their particular tech stack as a React, or React is coming from basically JavaScript. So 62% of the audience, 62% of the revamp system that has been rewritten is being written on JS. That's why this particular number is being justified. So I was not making this up just to showcase the hype that Munstack is being around, because I've been in the industry from 2018, right? I am doing this from 2018. I am teaching and being in the software industry and around 6 years now, right? Or in 3.5 years, I am in training. So I have seen this trend of technology coming and going, being in the hot potatoes in the market. So 62% of the revamp system has been written, and 42% increment has been seen due to this early age startups scenarios in the internship opportunities. Now, talking about this internship or job role opportunities, the first thing first, you need to understand how to start this particular technology that is called MERN, right? The question is, I know why to do it. There might be two, three motives. Money can be a motive. That is a very good motive. Obviously, everyone is running behind the money because it's a necessary. And second one is you are just passionate about this MERN stack. Or I have seen people passionate about Munstack or React or Next.js or a particular language. They don't want to hear anything around bad around their tech stack. They will be ready to debate how they are best in the market. But third motive, it is necessity, survival. Because if you are doing DSA, obviously DSA is required for placements or switching careers. So okay, DSA is required, but DSA is for entry. You have entered into the arena, you have cleared round, now you are in industry, for example. Now what you are going to do? You are going to build, you are going to do dev. And what for dev? Because already I have seen 62% of the industry is using this Munstack or the JS framework. So you need to come into the survival mode to learn those kind of technology. It can be Angular, it can be a Vue, it can be a 3, it can be a Next.js, it can be a React, it can be whatever it is. But if it is coming from that particular zone, that is JavaScript, so simplest tech stack that you can pick to start your career in, that is MERN. And why I'm calling this as a simplest tech stacks to start with, because it is. People find it very tough, people find it very complicated, but let me tell you, my friend, it is easy. And I'm not talking about as a trainer perspective or software engineer perspective. I'm talking about a as a student perspective, how a student can learn this particular tech stack very easily. So let me just break this particular thing for you. Just give me 5 minutes. For example, I am just writing this up like as a MER. Let's write this down. What does it mean? It's obviously, it's a combination of four tech stack. That is MongoDB. Yes, I know it's MongoDB. It's Express. Yes, it's a framework. It's a React. What it is? It's a framework or library. I was training my student back a few hours back, and I asked this question. I was started React today in my training program. So I asked them, it is a framework or library. They were confused. कि sir, कुछ लोग कह रहे library, कुछ लोग कह रहे framework. But when I installed that React using Vite, जिसको तुम Vite भी कहते हो, उसको install किया, they were treating like a framework, right? So you can call it a framework, but it's a library acting like a framework because of this extensive use of the library. So let's call this it's a framework. Node, what is Node? Library or framework? It's an environment. Okay. So these particular tech stack coming together to form a group of technology coming together to form a streamlined process to build application end to end. And talking about end to end means you will be having database because MongoDB is supporting the database. Express is for backend, writing APIs, writing middlewares, right? React is for client side, that is front end part. You will be able to build a reusable components. Node is for environment that to run and to write, give the support of live that is asynchronous programming, that is a separate part. That's an environment where you run those things, JavaScript code on the server side, right? This is actually mer. So now where you find this stuff? The problem start with you don't know from where you need to pick, what you need to learn, how much you need to learn, and what to build then. Because without building, let me give you that reality check, you are not going anywhere. And it is reality in the market. Nobody wants a guy who is having a lot of theory knowledge. It can explain well, but if I ask them to code few functionality, it is being no, I cannot do it. Nobody wants that kind of person. Everybody wants a guy who can less theory if it is having he or she is having a less knowledge about theory works. We'll teach them, we'll train them. But if he or she is able to code and he or she is able to deliver me that message through code, okay, okay, what I'm talking about, my theory can be a little bit 1920 1920 but my code can speak on the behalf of my theory. That works. And I have seen people, I have selected people while taking interviews who have little less knowledge as compared to the practical knowledge, but they are very good at coding and they are doing very good in the industry. Not even in Geeks for Geeks or any other organization as well. They are switching, they are changing, and they are going here and there, and they are doing good. Why? Because industry demand building strength. If you are able to build, if you are able to give the code to the founder, if you are able to deliver the result, deliver the functionality without uh, looking here and there, and obviously you are going to take help of LLMs, and that is for sure. But you understand what you're actually writing. So these particular tech stack combined together, forming an end-to-end development facility, is very easy to learn. Now, why this particular month stack is hot potato in the industry, why 42% of the startup is preferring it? Because of its agility and flexibility. Because JS that is being used into this is covering the 70% of the part, that is Express, React, and Node. Everything is derived from JS. So using only single tech stack, using single programming language, that obviously is a high level programming language, you can use that particular language to build client side, and you can even build server side. So now this particular thing, how we learn it? Okay, I'm quite interested to learn, sir. Again, from where I need to start? What I need to do first? What are the prerequisite of it? So basic prerequisite, if you talk about client side, let me just talk about the uh, roadmap of kind of thing that what you need to learn actually. So for example, talking about client side, that is CS. Client side means actually the front end part. Let's assume we are talking about front end part. In front end part, there are any questions? Mhm. Not yet. I'll pick the question at the end. Okay. If you are having question, don't worry. So if I talk about client side means, for example, talking about structure. I'm talking about from the very basics who are looking for internship or though I have no idea about the web development. For example, you want to deliver a UI to someone. For example, your founder said you need to build a UI for our product and start. What you require to build a UI? You require a structure, you require building blocks, you require a skeleton. And over the skeleton, you can design it. You can apply CSS, you can apply Tailwind, you can apply Bootstrap, you can apply any component library, Tailwind, Tailwind CSS, Material UI, Daisy UI, Chakra, whatever you prefer. There are tons of the options. So for example, for a structure purpose, you need to start with it. Then comes why CSS? Because if you are planning, people might contradict it. Okay, I can learn Bootstrap, but from where Bootstrap is coming? If you are not able to write background color red in CSS, how on earth I am going to trust you to write BG danger, right? In Bootstrap, we write BG danger. In CSS, we are writing background color red, right? So how I'm going to trust you while you are not comfortable with CSS? So writing custom CSS, you need to understand that there is no alternative to it. Once you are comfortable with CSS, then you can choose any option. You can go with Bootstrap, that is V5 currently. You can go with Tailwind. You can go with Tailwind based any component library. It can be MUI, it can be Chakra, it can be Daisy, it can be whatever. Whatever you prefer, there are, as I told, there are tons of options. Now, after CSS, that means structure has been done, styling has been done. Now, even on the client side, you might think कि front end is ready, but not. Front end is not ready yet. And how you think front end will be ready? You require interactivity to it, right? You need to add interactive. You need to add event to it. So whenever you are interacting, you are opening any website, for example IRCTC, or for example Geeks for Geeks, and you are clicking on some program or training program to enroll, and that button is just a green color, the fantasy green color, but when you are clicking onto it, nothing is happening. There is no payment option, there is no pop-up, there is no course detail. there is nothing is happening. Then why this button is been there for so long? Why this button was put in the first place? No idea. That means if I want to feel that interactivity to the website, so website should talk to me in my simple layman language. I'll tell ki website should speak to me. That's what I want. If I'm saying enroll now, I'm clicking on enroll now, it should enroll. It should show me the payment option, should show me the pop-up of the details of the course of the like how many weeks is there, who is going to train me. Those kind of details it should pop up. So that means we require to add JS to it. JS means JavaScript. And this particular language, ladies and gentlemen, is the key. Without this particular language, without this particular JS, in web development, if you're talking about MERN, mean, or Next.js, nothing is going to happen. Nothing. Talking about my personal experience, I'm talking from my personal experience. And back in 2018, I started my career as a PHP, first language of mine for development by PHP. And I was very fluent in it. But when I one of my roommates or classmates start doing React and they got internship, they got opportunities and on-campus drives because PHP was in the 10, but in on-campus drives or internship, they were not asking. They were asking JavaScript, they were asking React, and they were giving a good amount of internship with healthy stipend. Then I asked myself a question: Am I doing a wrong tech stack? देन फ्रॉम दैट पर्टिकुलर क्राउड वाला नहीं होता है कि भाई हाँ क्राउड के पीछे भागना है मुझे भी आई वॉन्ट टू डू दैट सो आई आस्क माई फ्रेंड कि ओके क्या करना चाहिए ये आस्क भाई रिएक्ट कर ले एक बार बट उसने मुझसे कहा कि रिएक्ट कर ले पर बिहाइंड द सीन वो मुझे बताना भूल गया कि रिएक्ट करने से पहले आपको जेएस करना होता है राइट एंड मैं इंटर्नशिप के लिए भूखा चला गया रिएक्ट करने राइट एंड आई डिड इट कंपोनेंट बनाना सीख गया प्रॉप्स हैंडल करना सीख गया सब कुछ सीख गया एवरीथिंग वाज गुड आई वाज फीलिंग कॉन्फिडेंट आई वाज बिल्डिंग नेप बार होम पेज एंड आई वाज अरेंजिंग देम इन अ कंपोनेंट ऑर्डर एंड आई थॉट कि भाई माय रिएक्ट इज वेरी गुड आई कैन क्रैक प्लेसमेंट्स when I there was a company I will quote let me quote there was a company the RT Camp Solution was company I appear in 2018 2019 for an internship right and first thing they asked me that you have built a project of e-commerce right yeah I have done that and luckily I was doing that particular project they asked me just tell me how callback works me were like callbacks. Yes, explain me the callbacks, how callbacks works actually. Do you have used any kind of APIs? Yes, I have used. What is async and await? And I was like, you what they are asking, and obviously you know the result. Ki, what happened? I got rejected. But then I realized कि jumping onto a framework or library is a crime for a student if he is not committed, he is not doing practice for a core. And it is applicable for all around the world, be it a gym, be it a running, be it a study, be it math, science, whatever it is. If your core is not strong, then ladies and gentlemen, you are at your career at a stake. Means core means what? Then I realized that before jumping onto the framework or the library, I need to work on this particular language that is JS. And I spent hell lot of time, around 3 to 3.5 months to study this language and I mastered it. And from that day onward, from 2019, is 2026 is about to come from in few days and I'm still doing it. I'm at a good place in my I'm satisfied where I am right so from this particular thing I have done React, I have worked on Angular, I have also worked on Next.js, currently learning animation and 3.js as well. I have a little bit idea of Vue.js as well though in 3 to 5 years of the span of my careers I have touched each and every framework. But why and how I'm able to touch that framework is straightforward answer that I focused on core. So if you are planning to come into the one stack of the fancy world, please make sure you are fasten your seatbelt for JS. You need to spend a good healthy amount of time on JS. When you are comfortable with JS, 75 to 80% of the concept is going to be directly resonating in React.js. Then you need to pick framework. Obviously, you cannot directly work on vanilla JS. You need to pick a framework for a utility library or framework for a easier development, for optimized development. So, you, for example, you have picked React, right? And while we picking React, as I said, 75% to 80% of the concept will be resonating, because in functional component, if you are talking about, everything is JavaScript. You are writing a function, you are returning something, you are exporting it. That's it, right? After React, we have done with client side. Now let's talk about server side, SS. That is server side scripting. Client side we have done. Now talk about servers. So we are having a Node.js environment where we allow our JavaScript to run on a server side as well because of C++ live UV. That's a, different concept. Uh, any other workshop we'll discuss that, and I'll talk about which workshop. Okay. So talking about server sides programming, JS is also capable to do that. So for that we have built Node.js, their environment to run JavaScript code onto the server side. We are having worker thread, we are having event loops, we are having hell lot of things, web APIs, call stack. There are a lot of things to look after. Now, after Node.js, there are few problems in Node.js as well. There are few of the complexity in Node.js of the dependencies, callbacks. There are nested callback. There are if else conditions in the server side. Or the routing problem, static routing is the issue in the Node.js. So we are also driving our framework that is called Express from the Node.js itself. What is Express? Express is derived from the HTTP module. They are using behind the scene HTTP module to write servers. But the dependency of the callbacks of the single callback has been removed. We are able to write different route with the different callbacks, right? So that's how you can plan your journey. Now, for example, you have planned your journey. I know I have done this particular thing. HTML is done, CS is done, Bootstrap is done, JS is done, and React is done. Express is also done. MongoDB has been taken care. Now what? I am very good at theory. I can explain any concept in 40, 30, 50 word. I can speak 10 minutes on a callback. I can speak 15 minutes on a sync and await. But will you be getting selected using that particular method? No. And that's a fact. Why? Because let me tell you one thing. Because of the competition that is running in the market, I have spent a healthy amount of time with HRs right in my careers, and I understand this fact that you might be understanding this fact as well, that average time that HR spend on your resume is 6 to 9 seconds. You agree on that, right? If you don't know, please be aware of that particular thing, that only 6 to 9 average time is going to be spent on your resume itself. And in 6 to 9 seconds, you need to make an impression of an asset. And how you going to make the impression of being asset in 6 to 9 seconds? By highlighting your work through projects. Simple. There is no alternative to it. There is no buzz around it. There is nothing sugar coated. You are going to build lot of project. You are going to build meaningful project. You are going to implement functionality into project, and then you are going to be selected. Then you are going to be speaking with the interviewer. In few days back, I was in Jaipur in a college seminar, and one of the student asked me the question. They said, "How should I prepare for interview?" And one of the question was, I am quite fascinated by the question that, sir, I am not prepared for interviewers' questions. What I am preparing, interviewer ask apart from that curriculum. For example, he was just taking example. For example, sir, I have made a railway timetable synthesization. I will update the real time timetable of the railway for a optimized rendering. But when I sit in the interview, when I get shortlisted, they ask why you have chosen this particular architecture. The question why is important, because every project, every particular task has a story behind it. Dasrat Manji broke all the kind of पूरा पहाड़ उन्होंने तोड़ा था इस साइड से उस साइड जाने के लिए। वाई? मजा आ रहा था? नहीं। देयर वॉज अ स्टोरी, देयर वॉज अ लॉजिक, देयर वॉज अ गोल, देयर वॉज अ विजन, दे वांट टू अचीव समथिंग. So that comes under research part. So for example, you are building a project. So project defines what? Now let's talk about project itself. Key projects define what? Project define three things. That is called curiosity, consistency, and credibility. Curiosity means what? What do you mean by curiosity? If you're talking about curiosity, if you're building a project, project ideas come from curiosity. Amazon clone is not a project, guys. E-commerce clone is not a project. Netflix clone is not a project. And if you're planning to put into it, please refrain yourself. You will be embarrassed in front of the interviewer. If I am the interviewer, for sure you are going to be feel embarrassed ki why I have put it that. Because we as an interviewer doesn't like the clones. Sometimes few of the people ask, सर कौन से प्रोजेक्ट मुझे डालने चाहिए रेज्यूमे? मैं बताता हूँ कौन से प्रोजेक्ट नहीं डालने चाहिए. That is clones. Any idea that is saturated, because any idea cannot be unique. Whatever you can think of, it is already in the market. But whatever you are thinking, please do not clone it. Build it. Addition to it, some add few more functionality to it, and please update the current problem statement. You should know about your problem statement. Even sometime I see a resume and I ask, what is this? Whatever you build Paytm clone, and how many components are there in the project? They were goes blank. They even doesn't understand what component means. They don't know their project in and out. So first thing first, if you are building a project, you need to be curious, and every company wants a curious guy, because curiosity can generate lot of things that a alsi mind cannot. Curiosity can bring out the best of any guy. If you are hunger, if you are having hunger, if you are having a curiosity to learn, to build new things, you are going to places you never imagined. Now second thing, credibility. Why credibility? And if you're saying, let's take an example of credibility. In your interview, I'm seeing that you are saying in introduction you are very efficient in Node.js, or let's example you are very efficient in Express or API making. So when I'll see your project, I should see debouncing, throttle, or those kind of concept that need to be done in API optimization. There should be a short pulling, long pulling, and there are hell lot of concept that is coming to save APIs that going to be optimizing your APIs. That shows that you are credible source, because when you are credible, you show up daily, you take responsibility, you optimize your current solution, you always think for the best कि इससे बेहतर क्या हो सकता है, and every company wants that. And third, that is consistency. Project cannot be done in one day. It take months, it take 15-20 days to build a functionality, it builds a product. I'm talking about a little project, not a big one. Big one also take years to build. So showing up daily, how will you show कि I am the consistent guy? By building tasks that takes a lot of time, that take a lot of effort, that will kind of bring out the worst time and best time both. Sometime you will be stuck on the one functionality for 5 days, 10 days. You are not able to find the solution. Then in one night, because you are curious, you are researching about it, and one day it will click and your problem is being solved. So all three C's, that is consistency, credibility, and curiosity, that can be proved, that can be given a justification through project. And simplest of all, if you have not understood any of those definition, there might be people who saying ki, what about those definitions? So you can take one note from my conversation, that project is conversation starter. As you go into restaurant, you need a starter, right? That's works in interview as well. For example, you finished your introduction. Then what? What I'm going to ask? What you have eaten for dinner or lunch or breakfast? How was it? And you are selected? No. I'm going to pick a thing. I'm going to find a point from where I can pick the conversation. Because I want to understand you, you want to understand me. Because interview is a two-way communication. You ask question from interviewer, interviewer ask question from you. It's a discussion, right? So where discussion starts, it start from the projects. Okay, you have clear DSA round, you have clear technical round. Now let's have a dev round, let's have a technical round too. That's what you have done so far in your projects. Then you pick conversation. Yeah, I have built this. Then conversation begins from their point of itself. Okay, okay, you have used this much this component, or tell me about this particular functionality. Okay, have you used this kind of scenario? Okay, explain me this JWT, explain me bcrypt, what is OAuth, how REST is designed, why you have used REST instead of SOAP, what is GraphQL, what is debouncing throttling. These kind of concept come from the project. I am not a god, I am not a something someone can who can look into your eyes and check, okay, this is the guy I want, okay, select him. No, you want a guy who have projects under their belt, so they can prove their 3 point, that is curiosity, consistency, and credibility, right? Now, which kind of project you need to understand, you need to do, that totally depend on your curiosity. But sometimes talking about student or people looking for switch or intensive doesn't have that knack of ignition ki bhai shuru kahan se karna hai, right? For that particular thing, for example, talking about trainings, why we require boot camps, why we require trainings, why we require projects, it directly come to a point ki we have a goal, right? For that particular scenario itself, for example, let's take an example of projects that we are planning in one of the boot camp that I was talking about. I'll give you the idea about the details as well. Let me directly go on to the project that I was talking about. So I hope my this particular thing is visible. Let me check. Mhm. तब तक क्वेश्चन देख लेते हैं एक बार. Sir, Bootstrap framework is good instead of React.js? No, Bootstrap is something else, React.js is something else. You speak in Hindi, I can speak in three language, Hindi, English, Punjabi, or little bit of Bhojpuri as well. सर रिएक्ट में डिफिकल्टी आ रही है, नहीं आई, भी बात करते हैं उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा, ठीक है. ऑल्सो टेक सेशन ऑन resume. I'll talk about resume as well, no worries Ravi. Okay, sudoku clone, please don't. Okay, okay. Let's understand. As the agenda is already suggesting from hello world to offer letter. That's a unique line, right? That from starting the project, that is hello world. Everyone writes hello world, right? Any programming, but not in JavaScript. Let me tell you again. Okay, when you talk about JavaScript, shortest program in JavaScript is not hello world. The first program in JavaScript is not hello world. It's an empty file. When we will meet in any training now, I'll just show you ki how JavaScript is behaving differently, like C++ or any Java. It is not like ki hello world is the first program. No, empty file is the shortest program. Okay, so from how we can transfer your journey, how we can start the journey from the hello world part in Munstack or to offer letter, that means your goal. It can be a on campus, it can be off campus, it can be a switch, it can be a internship. So let's jump onto this. As I was talking, these are the things I have already covered. So for that, I don't require PPTs as because I love to speak, I love to write. I do not follow PPT wala stuff. So as you know, React is a top three desired skills, because when you go on, it's a proven. When you go on to the Stack Overflow and when you type most popular language in 2025 and 2024, you will be finding that JS is still in top three, right? And it's obviously it's a versatile language, because one language, that is JavaScript, that can do client side, that can give you server side, right? React.js for the client side, Express and Node for the you can call it server side. And there are framework over build like Angular, that is JS, Next, that is JS, Vue, JS 3.js animation. There are versatility, you cannot even end it, because there is a concept called prototypal inheritance. In my training, I tell the student, my student, that what is prototype inheritance, how it make my JavaScript very versatile. And obviously it's a high paying job because of a startup culture. If you are very good at React, very good at frameworks, you are going to get a good money. And High pay is obviously going to the expectation what you are picking expectation. For somebody 710 is can be high, for somebody 20 can be a high. So yes, it's they give a good opportunity because Munstack never cheats. As I say, they never kind of cheats. Whenever you are doing it professionally, you are respecting the tech stack, you are doing projects, you are learning, you are implementing features, you are going to get the result for sure. Now, let's move what is there. How MERN works, as I have already told you, for the user interaction, we have a front end part, API calls. For backend, we are designing middlewares, controllers, RESTful architectures. For databases, we are using MongoDB. For NoSQL databases, we are using schemas, CRUD operations, right? So that's how it works. Now, what I was talking, ki how to pick project, right? So I have one project that we, as a Geeks Focus, we are planning to give into the winter boot camp. We are planning a winter bootcamp that is starting in, I believe, mid of Jan. So I'll give you the detail of that. What we are planning, it will be a kind of 15 days bootcamp where we'll be going to pick a end-to-end project because as your placement is also approaching, the summer, January, February, March, for off-campus, for switch, for internship, for on-campus drive. This is the Mosam. This winter is coming, as GOT said, winter is coming, right? So we need to be prepared enough that winter is coming. So we are going to start a LMS, that is learning management system. And why learning management system? I'll explain. Ki this is the project. LMS or CRM is a project where you can implement all extensive use of Munstack. You can extend the functionality till the end of the stretch of any tech stack like React, Node, Express, Mongo. Why? So it's a day wise. I have divided into a day wise because we are going to understand. We are going to start from the very basics. That how architecture are being designed in REST, in any modern JavaScript, in modern backend program. How we design our systems. That comes under HLD or LLD. We are going to do how to scale it, horizontal scaling, vertical scaling, and lot of things. Then comes, obviously we are going to see how actually we are designing backend, how to make servers, which tech stack is going to, which either Node or Express is going to be help you build a very good servers, scalable servers, and how do we can implement a middlewares. And do you know Express is a middleware? Express itself is a middleware. And we are going to do obviously routings, get postcard operations. We are going to write on APIs from Express.js, and we are going to understand the REST architecture as well, that how REST is being designed, how it is flexible, what are the guiding principle of it. There are 6 guiding principle of the REST to call a system a RESTful system. The RESTful API is not a singular term. RESTful is the architectural design pattern and API that we design on that particular pattern. That's why it is called RESTful API, right? So similarly, when you go into the MongoDB part, that's for the databases, because we are going to have a dynamic schemas. In LMS, there will be a few of the categories that I am planning to do in the bootcamp. That can be a user. In LMS, there will be an end user. There will be going to admin. There will be super admin, right? So we are going to do role-based authentications, which particular emails, which particular user has been assigned with different role. Then dynamic progress. For example, let's take an example me, because if I'm logging as a user, my progress of the course, my progress of the training will be different. For example, I have completed 50%. Or for example, one of my roommate is completing 60%. So their dashboard will be different. That is analytics. So we are going to implement that as well. Different user for the user centric databases, user centric schemas, and user centric dashboards. Okay, each and every user will be going to have a different dashboard. And for, we are going to see how we can design, because writing code is separate thing. Writing a optimized code, writing a good file structure, folder structure, having that MVC, model view controller architecture, is very necessary, or you can call it very optimal. It is bare minimum. So every developer should follow that. Every developer is following, so you should also know that how to design their backend structures, right? We're going to see that, because this particular programming, this particular project, this particular boot camp is going to be 15 days long. And each days you are going to implement few functionality. We are going to learn few new things. Authentication, talking about JWT, bcrypt, it can be a OAuth, it can be a two token based JWT, because in industry we are using two token based authentication as well. Role based access setup, we are going to implement password hashing obviously for bcrypt as well. And course module, we are going to implement course module for different kind of structure. For example, me, I have chosen for Java. I have chosen for data science, you have chosen for monster. So your course alignment, your course videos structure will be different than mine. So it can be a different schema, course API will be different, update API will be different, and a lot of things. And lesson schema, obviously why you are going to use videos lessons to course, how to going to fetch lessons. So each and every day's plan going to be different. And after the end of this particular program, that is boot camp, after 15 days we are going to have that particular, yeah, especially one of the highlighting point, we are going to use redis as well for the cache management, for the smooth rendering and the database management. For the redis, for cache purpose, we are going to use redis as well. And we are going to implement the payment gateway. It can be Stripe, it can be Razorpay, whatever it is we feel comfortable with, we'll do that as well. And after that, it's obviously a auto update UI feedback. Admin feature, admin feature we're going to have that we can assign users some role, we can delete user, we can ban user, we can restrict user, we are going to see that. Okay. Then we are going to deploy our application on AWS as well. I'll give you idea about Docker as well, because I personally use Docker as well. uh, CI/CD pipelines, what is CI/CD pipeline, what is load balancers, how they works, how Vercel Netlify they works, we are going to do that. Then what you are going to learn in this particular ecosystem, we know obviously React, Node, Mongoose, Express, modern JavaScript, we are going to use modern JavaScript tools, and Redux for state management, obviously. And if a student will be preferring, and I'll give you the additional idea about what is recoil and what is just stand, because I personally worked on just stand and recoil as well. And career impact, that already I have talked about. Their career impact, there are opportunity globally and India as well, right? A good amount of internship opportunities coming here and there. And obviously the industry is booming in a stable format, 38 to 48 42% increasing every year, because of the startup culture that I have already talked about in the initial sessions. And who is this for? This particular session is for which type of people? It can be freshers that I already talked about, that guys who's looking for internship opportunities, they are going to start their placement in January, February, right? March, there the placement season, day one is coming. They want to have a good, decent project, a good project to explain. They want to have the good functionality to work upon. They can choose this particular bootcamp. Career switchers, already talked about. The guys who are looking for a switch, they can upskill themselves with a good project. Because what I think about project is pretty much simple. Project is just a UI, it's just a structure to implement few features. And our goal is, and pretty much clear, I am very sure, because in Noida and Delhi I'm going to take this boot camp. So I'm pretty much sure that we are going to implement features, and rest of the thing will come along. So then third party front end apps, obviously they want to label up, they want to learn new thing. For example, if they are front end, they want to get idea about back end. If they are back end guys looking for a good UI, they can enroll into this particular bootcamp. What will be the training mode? Obviously, because I'm going to take this particular classroom in Noida, that is Noida Geeks for Geeks office. So it will be a offline mode, that is classroom program. You can enroll, you can come into training in on Noida. And if you are not in Noida, that particular opportunity of boot camps or the winter training program is available in all centers, that is Bangalore, Pune, Noida, Hyderabad, and recently we have started our journey in Kolkata as well, right? So if you are around those centers, you can get enrolled, you can have that opportunity to interact with us. There are going to be software engineers, they are going to be working professional who is in the industry for so long. They can give you the idea about how things works, and how you can approach the season of the placement, how you can approach the season of coming opportunity. Because in February, March, people is going to switch, companies going to come, companies get laying off the people, hiring new talents, people are switching off, lack of increment. So opportunity will be there, right? So if you are around this Bangalore, Pune, Noida, If you want to train with me, you can come to Noida, 136 gigs for gigs. Hyderabad, uh, we have boot camp in Hyderabad as well. Kolkata, we have the boot camp, and all of them will be in the first and second week of January, and the total duration will be of 15 days. Right now, this particular is, you can call it a surprise, because as Geeks for Geeks, they have given me that opportunity that if you are enrolling, if you are taking this boot camp, you can use this particular coupon code, you can use this opportunity to have flat 40% off. Like code is saying year end 40%, that is 40% flat off. So you can go on to the particular website of Geeks for Geeks for winter training program. You can copy this particular code. I can just copy this particular code and I can give you. Okay, what I have opened, let's copy this code and let's give you this code in the chat. And in YouTube, let me just put it on YouTube as well. It's a year end 40. Let me just go on to the YouTube. I'll put the on the YouTube. Uh, I'll ask if there is an Geeks for Geeks Pratyush, if there's, you can paste on the YouTube. That will be fine. Okay, you can get on the YouTube chat as well. If people are on the Zoom meeting, they can get. Now, let me just show you that what actually we are planning. This is our course page, right? That is a training program page that we have designed. You can go on to the MERN project based Geeks for Geeks link. You can directly enroll into it. I'll just paste this link as well. And in the YouTube description, there will be link and the coupon codes, if I'm not wrong. If our team has worked brilliantly, there will be links. Okay, so this particular program, let me just show you this. Offline location is given: Kolkata, Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad, and Noida. You're going to get IBM certifications offer completion. It's a well recognized certification because we are also running boot camps on data science. So IBM certification will be there. Basics to advanced, obviously, we'll be covering up React auth page and dashboard, as I've already explained, because I don't require this overview to explain projects because I know this project in and out, right? And this is the content that we are going to prepare. This is a day-wise content. You can, before enrolling, you can check it out that what is going to be there in day-wise plan. Because okay, the plan can be changed. Okay, topic might here and there, but this is a 15-day plan that we have curated, and we'll try to follow that, and we're going to build a LMS from scratch itself, the deployment on the AWS itself. Okay, and obviously this is the locations. They are going to be your mentor in Hyderabad. Obviously Atul will be there. Bangalore, Anton will be there, and in Noida I'll be there. Pune, Sohail will be there, and few of the mentor Pune and Kolkata will be there. Okay, and these are the dates that if you are in Bangalore, you know this: January 5th, Hyderabad date is given, Kolkata date is given, Noida date is also given, and Pune date is given. You can enroll this particular program. You can use that code that I have shared, year and 40, and you can enroll that, and we'll meet in the boot camp where we will be building LMS. Then you will be having a project. There will be having a topic to talk about. Then you will be feeling confident that I can talk about my project for 10-15 minutes, right? That particular thing can be a starter point for you. Okay, that's why I was talking about conversation starter na. What you require to start the interview, and I ask what you have done so far. Then you can start that I have work on a CRM, I work on a LMS, because LMS teaches you a lot. Why LMS especially? You might be thinking why LMS especially. We have thought of lot of tasks and lot of project, but what we have come to conclusion that if we want to implement set of functionalities, because there is a lot of time in 15 days, we can implement lot of functionality. So we want to have that a project where we get the flexibility to implement lot of things, right? So then LMS and the CRM like Salesforce, Jira, these kind of CRMs are the project where we can have the flexibility. Let's check the comment before we get the doubt of. candidate, that is React May difficulties REM. The problem with React difficulties is, let me just show you one thing that I was showing. Let me just go on to the npm. It is off topic, but it's an interesting one. This is npm node package manager. I'll show you the React. It's a library. You also know it's a library. When you search it out, pardon my internet, it's a little bit slow. This is your React that you're talking about. npm install React. You use this, write a .js file, it's done, right? So from this React, you don't need to fear. But when React start acting like a framework, then you need to fear. There is a state management, there is a routing services, there are context API, there are the hooks, tons of hooks. Because whenever React come, interviewer might grind you on the hooks for 1 hour, and hooks never ends. You prepare for use state, use effect, max to max, use ref, or you can go with callback. They can ask you use layout effect. There is nothing difference in use effect or use layout. It's all about DOM precedency. Who is going to get ready the DOM first? Is use effect or use layout effect, right? They're use case based. So when you are facing difficulty, please try my formula that I have tried personally. That try to build small tools. Never jump onto the directly bigger of the project. Don't pick a e-commerce directly. Start with mini project, chota small tasks. If you are implementing, for example, Redux in training, what I used to do to my student, because I also do in corporate trainings and big days training, that is big days batches, that where student or working professional combined together comes for switching or on campus drives or placement training. So what I noticed in my early career, that fail student feel stuck when I directly implement things on big project. Then I changed my theorem and I started, first I'll implement that big topic, that is Redux, into a small to do app. Let's take an example. On we have only two functionality, or max to max three: add task, remove task, update task, right? To implement my all those three functionality in Redux, where I'll make a store, I will write slicers, I will be using all those things, NYDs and whatever require, I'll implement it. Then that particular confidence of implementation in to do will help you when you are going to implement that particular thing into e-commerce, where tons of product is available. That's a hundred of project you need to use. You need to build a storage, you need to build a functionality where clear card will be there, update card will be there, increase or decrease will be there, increase by number will be there. There will be tons of functionality. But directly if you start roaming around the big project, that is a problem. So if you are trying to build application with a small goal, that is going to help in React, and that works. I have tried it. It's a tried and tested formula. If you're going to feel difficulty in future, anyone, so please try to build a small unit of project, then implement, integrate it to a big theorem. It works fine. Join the course and you learn React code. Yeah, it can be a source, it can be a method. You come to me in the Noida training, in offline training or boot camp, we'll work together to improve your skill. Okay, any other? How is Golang for backend? I was talking about, if you were asked about how is Node.js and Expresses for the backend, then I'll say yes. I'm the guy who's directly favoring. Yes, Golang is a good language, lightweight language. It's a hot potato, but obviously it's a matter of preference, Rabi. What you feel comfortable with. People are building website using pure JS, vanilla JS, HTML, CSS, JS, way better websites. But obviously it's a matter of preference. Any other doubt? Let me check. What is middleware? Middleware is the thing. It's a guy. That's an example. It is a guy. You want to go from this point to that point. This particular guy will check your admit card. It's a watchman. If you are coming to give an exam, you need to bring that particular admit card. And who is going to validate your admit card? That is a request and response. The middleware is in between. It can control your request, it can control your response, and it can terminate both. That means it can end your request response cycle if you are not a valid user. It can perform any kind of operation. It can validate, it can check, it can do transaction, it can do JWT authentication, anything. It's a user defined function. You can define any kind of even middleware says you can implement any type of code, and it can bring out the best from request and the response. How many amount of this course? You can go onto the course page, and you can, what are the coupon code that I have given, you can apply that for flat 40% off. Yes, for the checkout page you can use this link. I pasted the, I believe, if Pratyush is there, if please paste the link in the YouTube chats if you are available. Okay, any other doubt? Sir, what about Haryanvi? Not Haryanvi, yes, little bit, but not that comfortable. Okay, so if there is no more doubt, so Merry Christmas or Merry Christmas. Okay, Merry Christmas to all who is celebrating out there. So if there is no doubt, let me check. There is no doubt. Okay. So now we can wrap the session up. Thank you guys for joining this session, making this session very interactive, and by asking question, because I love the student who ask questions. Whether it can be any type of question, it can be a silly question. Nothing is silly. If you're asking question, that shows you are curious, you want to know things. Okay, and again, I'll just show you the code. This is year end 40. If you are enrolling, you can check out using this code, you will get flat for 40% off. You can go check out on this link that pasted on the YouTube live and description. If I'm okay, let me check. Yes, it is attached to this video description. You can check out. Okay, so thank you guys for joining this session and making this session very interactive. I hope we'll meet soon in the January in the boot camp. Okay, so see you there, see you in the boot camp. Thank you.